Okay, this is number 195 YouTube Live Yoga Routine. And before we begin yoga, I want to share a quote that I came across this morning from Socrates, or supposedly from Socrates. I don't know if it is from Socrates or not, but it doesn't matter. It's the truth of the quote. My phone keeps on messing up. Okay, this is the quote. To find yourself, think for yourself. Socrates. Again, to find yourself, think for yourself. Socrates. Now, two things. First, initially, in the yoga philosophy, one may think, well, I thought we weren't our thoughts. So how can you find yourself and think for yourself? Well, regardless of that sort of a misunderstanding of yoga philosophy, you have to live in this world. And like it or not, we have an image of who we are, which is based on a collection of thoughts. And these collection of thoughts are either positive or negative. And in yoga, we do learn to watch our thoughts and realize we are not our thoughts, but the thing that's watching our thoughts. Meaning we can have control of our thoughts. We can get rid of this negative thought, and get a collection of positive thoughts, creating an image of ourselves as positive. And then we take that off the yoga mat and we feel a sense of positivity. Oh, let me cut off this heater. Then there's the second part that this quote touches on in regards to yoga. And it's to think for yourself. Now, in yoga, we're learning to think for ourselves. And we're doing that by learning to listen to our bodies and listening to our minds, telling us if we can go into this pose or not into this pose. And essentially what that's doing is allowing us to learn to listen to ourselves. And in the yoga circles, this may not be popular, but the way that I teach yoga is for you to become your own guru. Do not trust others. This is just how I teach yoga. Now, I'm not saying don't have a guru, don't have a leader, don't do any of that stuff. Doesn't matter. Maybe you talk to yourself and you thought, I need to find a guru. That's fine. But the way I teach yoga is for you to learn to listen to yourself. And what you're doing is learning to listen to the body. And this is learning or teaching you how to listen to yourself, how to trust yourself, how to be confident enough to listen to yourself. So you're not going to want to have a guru, a teacher, a leader, because you are your guru. You are your teacher. You are your leader. You are who you are. Now, this goes to the quote because the last part is think for yourself. And then when you learn to think for yourself and you really listen to who you think you are, you definitely find yourself. And then ultimately in yoga, of course, this is true, is that you learn that you're the capital S self. You're not the lower S self. You're just not that. This is in yoga philosophy. But there's still an element of yoga where you have to live life. And that's just a fact. Now, with that explained, we're going to do yoga. And we're going to listen to ourselves. So you're going to listen to yourself. You're going to listen to the body. You're going to go into the pose. If you feel like you can go deeper into the pose, then go deeper into the pose. If you feel like you can't, then don't. All this is teaching you how to listen to yourself. So when you get off the yoga mat and you're in the so-called real world and you're moving throughout the real world and somebody's telling you something, you don't just listen. Listen to yourself. At work, someone tells you to do this. You don't just do it. You think, okay, should I do it? Should I not? Be your own master, man. Be your own guru. Be your own master. Be your own teacher. Learn to have confidence in yourself. That's what I'm trying to teach here. And that's the type of yoga or the yogic philosophy that I'm trying to tap into is be who you are. What's the quote? Be true, be you. Accept who you are. And then when you accept who you are, then boom, confidence, capital C, confidence. It's all about confidence, confidence. So we're going to do 2 slow sun salutations today. So we'll begin in the mountain pose, settling in the mountain pose, focusing on the breathing, 100% focus on the breathing. And then we'll move into 2 sun salutations. And we'll do a couple of variations in them. And then we'll go to mountain pose again, settle, and then boom, you tapped into yoga. Remember, yoga is the mind and body connecting as one. So let's go ahead and begin. Feet are shoulder width apart. Toes go up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent. Hips are tilted, arms relax, shoulders relax, neck is relaxed, so no tension anywhere. And what you're doing is you're lengthening up, and then you let the bones sit on top of each other. You're finding that spot where the skeleton just stands. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. And remember, you're already breathing. So you're just watching it. You're not controlling it, letting go of control. Just watch yourself breathe. And you do that by focusing on the belly. So when you inhale, the belly swells with air slightly. When you exhale, the belly goes in. Just focus on that. Or you bring your focus to the tip of the nose. As you inhale and exhale, you just watch it go in and out. Again, you're not controlling it, you're just watching it. Let go and just watch. Bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. It's the first stretch, so go nice and easy. Inhale, and then exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back. You're just going to fall into ragdoll. With the ragdoll, the arms are dangling. The head is dangling. No tension anywhere. Just accept where you are. Don't judge it. Don't try to be anywhere. Just let the body fall. Wherever it falls, just release and focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. Letting go. Let go of judgment. Let go of trying to be somewhere. Just be in the present moment and accept where you are. Palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. With a low lunge, off the foot to the floor in the back. Knees to the floor. Hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching. Making sure you're lengthened. So the front knee is not over the toes. If it is, lengthen up some and just feel opened. In this pose, you're feeling opened. Don't judge it. Once you're settled, you accept where you are and you focus on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. We're going to go into the monkey, so you curl toes under in the back, knee stays on the floor, right side lines up with the right shoulder, left side of the leg lines up with the left shoulder. Arms go up, so you reach up. You can keep the arms parallel if you like, or the arms can go out. You can look forward, you can look up, but whatever you're doing, get the fingers as wide as you can, middle fingers pointing straight up, and you're just focused on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but the breathing. Now the abs are engaged. You're not hollowing them out, you're just engaging them. And if you feel like you're wobbling a little bit, just go with the wobble. That's where true stability is in. So stability is in being able to go with the wobble, not keeping it. That's not true stability. Reach up higher, and then palms down to the front. Knee goes up in the back, high lunge just for a second or so. Then downward dog. The downward dog, you are pushing into it. Arms are straight. Legs are straight. Tailbones to the ceiling. Heels are towards the floor. Head is dangling. No tension in the neck. And you're just focused on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but the breathing. And you can push into it a little bit more if you feel like you should. If you feel like you shouldn't, then don't. Just focus 100% on the breathing. Now we're going to go into the plank. Either good, as straight as you can. Middle fingers here, pointing straight out. So the fingers, as wide as you can get them. Middle fingers are pointing straight out. Awareness is on the breathing. And if you feel like it and you need to modify it, just go down to hands and knees. But keep the abs engaged, focusing on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but the breathing. And you're trying to find that stability where the body is still, but still in the sense that if you're wobbling a little bit, you're going with the wobble. That is where true stability is. Being able to go with the flow. That's what you're learning here. So when you're off the yoga mat, you're in a so-called, I was going to say stationary, but stable situation, and it moves a little bit, you go with the move. Life changes, man. You go with it. And then back to downward dog. It's all a mindset that we're learning on the yoga mat. How to handle life off the yoga mat. Same way we do it on the yoga mat is how you do it in real life. It's mimicking so-called real life. Now push a little bit more. The head dangles, no tension anywhere in the neck. Once you're settled, you accept, and then just focus on the breathing. You're going to slide into the upward dog. You drop down to the knees and the chest. You slide up. Tops of the feet are to the floor. Palms are to the floor. And then you're going to modify this pose how you have to. So if you want to go to the cow, you go to hands and knees, arching the back, raising the head. Or you go down to small cobra, chest is off the floor, palms are touching the floor, but you're not using them. You're not pushing up. You're using the back muscles, which are pull muscles. So you're pulling up, or you just do the best you can in the upward dog. You're feeling opened. Then back to downward dog, pushing into it. Really, really, really push into it now. Focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. Arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor. And you are pushing into this pose, but you're only pushing to the spot right before you feel like, man, I should go any further. Find that spot, settle there, accept, and focus on the breathing. And then we're going to go to a plank again. Modify the plank how you have to. Abs are engaged. Not hollowed out, they're engaged. So the belly button's going into the spine, and you're just focusing 100% on the breathing. Again, you're finding that stability, getting stable, but the stability is also going with the flow. So if you're shaking a little bit, your arms are shaking, you accept that. You find the stability in that. If you feel like, you know what, I need to modify it, you need to go down on hands and knees, then do that. That is true stability, man. Stability is not staying here and then falling over because you can't do it. Stability is saying, you know what, I need to go to hands and knees. It's all right, doesn't matter. You're not trying to fight it. That's not yoga. And then back to downward dog. Pushing into it. Really, really push into it. Accept. And then focus on the breathing. Then you're going to bring the left foot up between the hands into a low lunge. So with a low lunge, top the foot to the floor and the back, knees to the floor. Hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching. Front knees not over the toes. If it is, lengthen up some. And just feel opened. Opening up. And just focus on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. Now when you're 100% focused on the breathing, the mind and body connects. Because if you're 100% focused on the breathing, you can't have judgment come in. You can't have control. You can't have none of those barriers that prevent the mind and body from becoming one. So you focus 100% on the breathing, boom, mind and body becomes one, which is yoga. Now you're going to go to high lunge. You're going to go to the monkey. So curl the toes under in the back. Bring yourself up. So the right knee, right foot lines up with that's not the right, that's the left. Left foot, left knee lines up with the left shoulder. The right side lines up with the right side. The right knee and foot lines up with the right shoulder. Can't think this morning and reach up. So you can keep the arms parallel or you can go out. You can look forward, you can look up. Whatever you're doing, get the fingers as wide as you can get them. Cannot speak this morning. And then middle fingers point straight up. And you're just focused on the breathing. And then keep the abs engaged. Think of nothing else but the breathing. Now again, go with the wobble. If you're wobbling a little bit, you go with it. That is true stability. It applies to, believe it or not, I'll use this as an example. When I'm messing up on my words, like I just did, it's all right. I go with it because it's okay. It's already happened. Doesn't matter. Same with the wobble. You're wobbling, don't say, I'm trying to. That's not yoga. When you try to fight it, you try to stay stable, that's not yoga. True stability is when you go with the movement because that's how life works. That mimics life. When you're in a situation and things change, you go with the change. You don't stay here like in a job that's changing and industry is changing. A lot of people stay in there and say, you know what, I'm going to do it this way. And the life changes and passes them by. That's what we're learning not to do through yoga. So knees up, high lunge just for a second or so. Then standing forward bend. It's all a mindset. And then pull yourself in and down. Focus 100% on the breathing. Thinking nothing else but the breathing. And then palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Turn palms out, push it down and out, exhale. Last sun salutation, inhale. Then exhale, hinge forward from the lower back. Standing forward bend, so palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Pull yourself in and down and focus on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. Very important pose here. You're closed up physically, but once you accept where you are, boom, you're opened up. The body does not dictate whether you feel opened or not. Then low lunge. So left leg goes back, feeling open, opening up here. Again, even if you are down a little bit and you think, I'm closed up, that does not dictate whether the mind is open. Because when you accept where you are, boom, you open up. It's a mindset. So when you get off the yoga mat and you're in a situation that you feel enclosed in, accept where you are, and boom, your mind will open and you'll think in a different way to see how you can get out of that situation. Or you'll reinterpret that situation and you'll be like, you know what? I'm not enclosed. This is awesome. It's all mindset. Then curl the toes under the back, knee goes up, high lunge. We're going to stay in the high lunge a little bit. Keep the abs engaged. Leg in the back as straight as you can get it. Back is straight in this one. Or, I mean, I guess you can arch it too, but try to keep the back straight, elongating. We're not going to stay here long and just focus on the breathing. Again, very important. If I'm sorry, can't speak this morning. I don't know what's up. But if you're moving, go with the move. If you're shaking a little bit, go with the shake. That is where true stability is at. I was always told, never end a sentence with that. Now here I'm messing up all my words. But that's part of yoga too. When you do yoga 195 days in a row, you have these days. That's part of life too. That's what I'm learning. So you're in the downward dog, arms straight, legs straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor, pushing into it. I'm learning that not every yoga session every day is going to be where I'm talking perfectly. One, I can't talk. I already know that. But that's all right. So push a little bit more. And then you go slide into the upper dog. Drop down to the knees and the chest. Slide up. Tops of the feet are to the floor. Palms, of course, are to the floor. And modify it how you have to. Accept where you are. Focus on the breathing. So all the mindset. You're learning acceptance. Just like I'm learning acceptance, I'm messing up on my words. I'm telling you, that's what I'm learning for 195 days. Some days are better than others. That mimics life. Some days feel better than others. It's perfect, man. It's a perfect thing when you do yoga every day. Some routines feel great. Some don't. People think, man, if I do yoga, I'll feel better. Sometimes you do yoga and you don't feel better. Am I supposed to say that as a yoga instructor? Yep, because that's the truth, man. Then left foot is up between the hands into a low lunge, opening up, feeling open. Very important to feel open. Openness is powerful. That's part of the oneness, feeling open. Acceptance. All these are little teeny words to explain openness, which kind of separates feeling open or feeling oneness. But it's all oneness. It's all the same thing. Just different words to try to express that experience. Now you're going to go to high lunge. So with a high lunge, curl the toes under the back. Knee goes up. We're going to stay here for a little bit. Again, go with the wobble. If you're wobbling a little bit, go with it. If you're as stable as you can get, that's cool too. That's part of it too. And just focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. And then you're going to bring the right leg up. Standing forward bend. Palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. You're pulling yourself in and down. But once you're in, you accept, relax in the pose, and just focus on the breathing. Very important pose. Here, when you're focusing on the breathing, you become aware of the subtle movement of the belly. So when you inhale, the belly expands with air, push yourself out of the pose slightly. Let yourself be pushed out. And then when you exhale, the belly goes in, and you go back into the pose. Let yourself go back into the pose. It's a subtle, subtle movement that you're aware of. So when you're off the yoga mat, you're aware of subtle things around you. The palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. And then exhale, turn the palms out, push the air down and out. And then you're going to go to mountain pose. Now, with mountain pose, feet are shoulder width apart, knees are bent, hips are tilted, arms relax. No tension anywhere. And you're just focused on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. You do that by focusing on the belly. Watch the air go in and out. As you inhale, the belly expands with air. Watch that. Then when you exhale, the belly goes in. Watch that. Or you bring your focus to the tip of the nose and watch the air go in and out. A very important pose. Going with the wobble. If you wobble a little bit or you move a little bit, just go with that. You're not fighting it. You're not controlling it. You're going with it. You're part of the oneness. So you may wobble. That's okay, because you're part of other things that make you wobble. So true stability is in recognizing that you are one with everything. So we're just going to stay here a little bit longer, so just focus on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but the breathing. And bring the palms together. Namaste. And that's it. That's number 195 YouTube live yoga routine. 195 days in a row. And definitely messed up with my words. I was trying to stay focused, but my mind was going other places. I have a paper due that I'm taking a class. For a class that I'm taking, I have grades to do. So although I try to bring my focus to the breathing, I'm also teaching, talking, and it kind of separates that. So I don't always do it. Sometimes I flow with the instruction and I become one with the instruction and I do great. But doing this 195 days in a row is teaching me that not every yoga session is going to be what you think should be perfect, which mimics life. Not every day is going to be what you think it should be. So a collection of these yoga sessions every day for 195 days is teaching me something then more than just what one session is teaching me. It's teaching me that every day is different. And I have to accept that, just like I accept that that I can't do a certain pose, and it's okay. And I take that mindset off the yoga mat, and I'm like, I'm in a situation that I can't do what I think I should do, and I just accept it. Well, this everyday thing is helping me realize that mimics real life too. Kind of cool, man. Kind of cool stuff, honestly. So, anyways, I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. So, namaste, peace and love.